Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Data with Sai. Today we are going to discuss about GAFS. So what do you mean by GAFS? GAFS. So this is a terminology that I have created uh, for you guys to easily remember, grouping, aggregating, filtering and sorting. So what are these? So what are the GAFS? So let me tell you something. Um, when you're building a house, right? When you're building a house, you need to have raw material, isn't it? You need to have a raw material. So what are the raw materials? Raw materials could be cement, bricks, sand and workers, right? So workers are going to use all of these raw materials and going to build your house. And what do you call these raw materials? These are the building blocks, isn't it? These are the building blocks of a building, right? So without this, you will not be able to build a house. Similarly, without grouping, aggregating, filtering, and sorting, you're not going to build your dashboards, right? You're not going to build your dashboards or you're not going to build your reports. So these concepts are pretty much everywhere in data analytics, and that is why I want you to guys to understand these concepts in simple and easier manner. And that is why I have introduced a word called GAFS, right? GAFS. So grouping, aggregating, filtering and sorting, these are nothing but GAFS, right? So today we are going to discuss all about GAFS, and I'm going to introduce some easiest examples to make you guys understand what grouping, aggregating and filtering, sorting in data analytics level. So let's start our session today without further ado. But before that, I want you to guys to let you know that if you want to learn Tableau, SQL, Power BI, right? Power BI and data warehousing concepts, and also you want to learn SSIS or uh, per se, if you want to learn ADF, Azure Data Factory, I'm always here to help you guys. You can always reach out me on datacloudsolutions.co.uk. You can log on to my website and you can fill a form, and our team will be always happy to assist you. And you can actually look at my courses day by day. Curriculum is available on the website, and you can look what you're going to learn every day, right? So you have a rough idea of what you're going to learn. Every concept I have listed out on the website, so you could be easily able to know what you're going to learn. So it kind of gives you a balanced approach of what you're going to learn next. So for that, you can always reach out to me on my website, and you can always write an email explaining what your needs and what you want to learn from Data Cloud Solutions. We will always be happy to help you on that as well. We will be able to, our team will be especially able to design a specialized a course for your career, your career progression, so that we'll be able to happily help you out. So let's quickly jump into today's small session. I would say it has been a while now. I have been working on a freelancing project that kind of consumed a lot of time from me. So this is going to be a small session, but nevertheless this is going to be a brilliant session for GAFS, for everyone who wants to learn data analytics. It is going to be a building blocks. As I said, it is going to be important concept, and I don't want anyone to miss that out. That is why I want to uh, you know create this video. So let's jump into today's topic. So today's topic is GAFS. So grouping, aggregating, filtering, and sorting. So what do I mean by grouping, aggregating, filtering, and sorting? So these are the fundamental building blocks of any data analytics project. Um, it these are the tools that help you to draw insights from the data, raw data, and then figure out what's going on in a business, or figure out how your business is running, and you want to do some analysis on your business. You're going to use these techniques to bring out the concepts, I mean bring out the insights of your business, of your business, so that you can take better business decisions, right? So let's see. Now let's take an example, right? To understand all four concepts, I have came up with a I have came up with a generalized example to help you guys to understand what is GATS. So this example includes and involves you. This is you. You're a learner, and imagine you own a fruit store, right? So you're selling different types of fruits. Now there is always a delivery that is going to come, right? There is a delivery van that is going to come every week, once a week, and he's going to, or the delivery guy is going to dump all the fruit boxes in one place. And now once the boxes are unloaded from the truck, it is your responsibility and it is your team's responsibility to store those boxes into the store those boxes or keep those boxes in the store in a neat way, so that customers will be able to figure out, customers will be able to look at the fruits and they will be able to buy, right? So this is what grouping means. So the activity that you're picking up the boxes from here, from the unloading area, and you're going to place them into your store, isn't it? So how you're going to store, that's the question. Now the delivery truck is going to drop all the fruits, right? So maybe all the fruits randomly, they're going to drop the fruits randomly. Now what you're going to do is, like, you're going to pick apple boxes, maybe 20 apple boxes, and you're going to keep the apple boxes at the apple's place, right? Excuse me. So you're going to pick up the apple boxes and you're going to keep the apple boxes at their designated area, right? So this is called grouping. Now what are you doing here? You're first identifying what fruit boxes do I have in the delivery, and then you're grouping them: apples with apples, bananas with bananas, and then oranges with oranges, and you're going to separately place them, and you're going to keep them in your store so that it will be visible. For example, if customer wants to buy apples, he doesn't have to go through all the boxes to figure out where are the apples. So that is called grouping. The grouping is nothing but arranging things in a proper way, right? So that you will be able to figure out insights easily. So I hope this example helps you guys to understand what is grouping, the first part of the GAFS. And the second part, let's move on to the second part, right? So aggregating. So what is aggregating? Let's understand what is aggregating. So this grouping, obviously. So aggregating is nothing but literally grouping. But in grouping, what we are doing, we are going to group dimensions. Now, if you want to learn what is dimensions, what is measures, and what are the different types of measures and dimensions we have in data analytics, you're always welcome to go back to my videos that I've created previously, and I have explained in depth about dimensions and measures, what are they and how are they useful in the real time in data analytics. So to understand more about dimensions and measures, you have to watch my videos. So in grouping, we are going to group with dimensions. What are the dimensions? Again, dimensions is nothing but apples there, bananas, and oranges. All are these are fruits. Now fruit fruits is a dimension, right? You are grouping using the fruits here, right? Now when we talk about aggregating is another functionality that helps you to sum, count, average, min, max. What do you mean by all of these variants? So aggregation has these few variants: sum, count, average, min, max. So basically what you're doing is, for example, a customer comes to your store and he wants to buy 4 apples, right? 4 apples. Now each apple, as a owner, each apple costs 10 pounds. Now the customer asks you to, the customer asks what's the price for 4 apples. Now you're going to say, okay, 1 apple costs 10 pounds. Now that is going to be 40 pounds. Now how do you come to this conclusion of 40, right? So how do you come to the conclusion? Your brain automatically is doing a sum aggregation, right? Your brain, the thought itself, to come to the conclusion of 40 pounds, that is called sum. So what is sum? Sum means you're going to place, right? You're going to do an addition, right? So 4 apples, that means 4 tens. That means 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. That means 40. So this is called aggregating, right? So you're grouping again, right? You're grouping 4 tens into one thing, that is 40. Here, in previous example, grouping, grouping dimensions means you're grouping all the different types of fruits into a category called fruits, right? Fruits. you have a category called fruits, and this fruits is called a dimension, right? This fruits is called a dimension. Now, when we are talking about numbers, this is called measure, right? MEASURE, measures, right? So I hope you understand what is aggregating. Aggregating is nothing but grouping, right? Aggregating is nothing but grouping, but you're going to group the numbers here. When we are talking about aggregating, you're going to group the numbers. Unlike grouping, actual grouping, you're going to group the dimensions, right? I hope you guys understand aggregating as well. Let's move on to our next concept. Yes, aggregation, baby. Let's move on to next concept, filtering. Now, this is an important and interesting concept. I would want to take a few more minutes of you to explain what is filtering. For example, let's say um, you have one fruit business, right? Now you have multiple fruit businesses. Now your business has grown and you have set up various stores in different areas. Now this is a south zone, this is a north zone, this is a east zone, and this is a west zone. Now you can't be, practically you can't be managing your business and staying physically at all the locations at the same time, right? So that is not going to be happening. That's not going to happen, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to hire four managers, and these managers are going to manage your each store in a each zone, right? So these are called zonal managers. Now all the four stores data, you're storing in a data warehousing server. Let's say it is a SQL server, and you're storing all the data, all the transactional data in the SQL server. Now, when one of these managers is going to connect to that server using Power BI or Tableau, he's going to bring in the data, right? So why would a west zone manager want to see north zone data, right? He doesn't want to look at the north zone data because it doesn't belongs to his working area. Now what he's going to do, he's going to apply a data source filter, apply a data source filter on the SQL server. Or let's say if he's not that much technical, he's going to apply a data source filter in Power BI. Now what Power BI does is, Power BI enforces that filter on the SQL server and only brings the filtered data. Now what that filter could be, any guesses? So west zone manager is going to say, okay, let's say the zone equals to west. So this is a filter that he is going to apply on Power BI. Now Power BI is going to enforce that filter on the SQL server, and only the west zone sales are going to be appearing on the Power BI, right? This is called one type of filtering. And why do we use filtering? Because uh, let's say you have, again, let's take a different scenario. You have a big data warehouse where there is a petabyte of, or maybe let's say terabytes of data. Now Power BI obviously is not going to bring all the data, right? It doesn't support terabytes of data. So what are you going to do? Now in 99, I mean in 100% of the times when you're working as a data analyst, business intelligence analyst, you're not going to bring in all the data, right? So what you're going to do, uh, for an example, let's take in the environment of Power BI, you're going to bring in only that data which is required for you to answer that business problem. So when you are presented with a business problem, you're going to bring in, first you're going to figure out what data I need to solve this business, and then you're going to query manually or use Power BI, and then you're going to query the actual server, data server, and then you're going to bring in that particular limited amount of data that is required for you to solve this business problem, right? So this is nothing but filtering. The whole activity that you're doing here by only taking a limited amount of data just to solve that business problem is filtering. So let me give a quick example of how this can be transferred or how this can be explained in terms of fruit selling business, right? So let's go back to our fruit selling business. Now let's say a customer comes in and he asks for apples, right? He asks for apples. Now if your business is spread out, like it's a bigger store, right? If you have a big store, what you're going to do, you're going to go to that aisle where the apples are located, and then only focus on those apples and bring in those box to the customer. Now you're going to eliminate all the different types of fruits, right? So that is called filtering. So whatever you're doing here is filtering, only presenting with the required amount of things, or only presenting with the required things to the customer, is what filtering is all about. So let's quickly jump into sorting, the final, the final concept of today's video is sorting. Now the sorting is very easy to understand, right? So first let's go through our fruit shop example, right? So let's say you have a delivery today, and then the truck driver has delivered all the fruit boxes, right? All the fruit boxes randomly as usual, because he doesn't care about the boxes how they are arranged, because he doesn't own the store. So he's going to through all the boxes, and now you're going to figure out, or your employees are going to figure out, and arrange them neatly. Now the thing is, arranging neatly not always is effective, right? Arranging anything neatly doesn't always translates into insight, right? So there should be something called efficiency. Now this is where the sorting comes in, right? So what does sorting do, and what does sorting has to do with a fruit shop business? Now let's say a customer comes in and he asks for oranges. Okay, let's say is asking for 4 oranges. Now to get to the oranges, right? So you have a lot of fruits. Now they are randomly, although they are grouped with apples, bananas with bananas, oranges with oranges, they don't have predictable arrangement. They don't have predictable paths, or they don't have a uh, proper arrangement where you will be able to figure out oranges. Okay, this is the location of the orange, so let's go to this location and bring the oranges to the customers. So this is the actual way. But since the grouping has done, and since the boxes are randomly scattered in a store, you're not going to go that much easily. You're not going to go to the proper fruit box easily, because you have to figure out, you have to go to first box and see, oh, what are the fruits available in this box. Okay, these are apples, and then these are bananas, and these are something, etc. So you have to check out all the boxes, and it is going to be time consuming, and it is going to affect your business drastically, right? It is going to take huge amount of time to figure out where are the oranges. Now this, to tackle this problem, you have to bring in an order, right? You have to bring in an order, so that you will be able to quickly jump to that particular box to get, to give that box to the customer. So what you're going to do, now you have two options here. Now let's say we will use the concept called sorting, right? Let's sort let's sort all the fruit boxes in a order, right? Let's say A to Z, right? So let's say we have various we have various racks. Now each rack is denoted with an alphabet A. Now this rack is B, this rack is C, this rack is D, and so on till O. Now you have an predictable order here, right? So when customer comes in and asks for apples, apples are going to be kept in this rack. Easily you're going to bring that box to the customer. Now if customer comes and asks for let's say oranges, you're going to quickly jump. You don't have to read B, C, D, so on. You're going to quickly jump into the O rack, right? The rack which is labeled as O, and you already know, because these are the these are the boxes that belong to oranges, because it is labeled as O, right? So easily you're going to go to this rack and bring in the oranges to the customer. So this is the only main useful use case of sorting, and there are other use cases, but it is really only crucial thing for sorting is helpful. The sorting is helpful to identify things to identify highs and lows. Let's say In terms of fruits business, this is how we can use it. We can use sorting, right? So let's understand in terms of data analytics, right? So let's say you're running again your store, and then you want to figure out which customer has made the highest sales and which customer has made the lowest sales for this month. So to get that answer, you need to sort the data, right? So the data is randomly like this. Okay, this 30, 50, 70, 10, 90. So this is a, although the data is stored organically, but you don't have particular pattern to it. So it is going to be difficult for you to figure out which customer has made maximum sales and which customer has made minimum sales. Now to figure out that easily, what you're going to do is you're going to excuse me, you're going to apply sorting, right? You're going to apply sorting on this, on this data. Now what is going to happen when you're applying the sorting? So sorting has two ways, right? A to Z, which is called ascending order, and Z to A, which is called descending order. So these are the two options that are available for sorting any type of data in our data analytics, in our data analytics environment, right? So when you apply sorting on this particular data set, what are you going to see here? Now, if you apply ascending order, 10 is going to come first, and then next 30 is going to come, and then next 50 is going to come, and then 70 is going to come, and then 90 is going to come last. So now, if I ask you the same question again, which customer made the maximum sales, which customer has made minimum sales, you can easily figure out, okay, this customer with 10 here is the minimum sales that this customer made, and the 90 is the maximum sale this particular customer has made. So it is easy for you to understand what is highs and what is lows using the sorting. And this is the only logical, let's say, this is the only logical use case of sorting in real time, right? So sorting is useful to figure out highs and lows in a data set. I'm sorry, I have a little problem with my throat these days. So if we bring all together, grouping, aggregating, filtering, sorting are the pillars of data analytics. Now there is something called group, let's say, you have nested grouping, right? So something called nested grouping. So you will apply grouping on top of one more group. So this is called nested grouping. And similarly, there is aggregating, right? You will apply one aggregation on top of another aggregation. So you'll apply one filter on top of another filter. You'll apply sorting, right? And you might apply multiple sorting, right? One sorting on top of another sorting. So this is a little bit advanced concept. Although to understand this advanced concept, you must understand first what is grouping, aggregating, filtering, and sorting, and how they move within the environment of data analytics. So take any tool, take any data analytics project, you're going to use all of these concepts in depth. That is why I want to bring these concepts to people who wants to start their career in data analytics. So this is really really important. No one tells you the basics, right? So they, if you want to learn something online, you go to directly type for that particular course. They're not going to teach you from basics. That I have observed it many times in my personal journey. That is why I'm bringing these topics, that is why I'm bringing these topics to the people, just just to make sure that they don't miss out on basics, because these are the basics, and these are the important things, right? If you understand these basics, you'll be able to understand more complex, more complex functionalities, more complex concepts easily. So these are all the basic concept building blocks in data analytics. I hope you guys understand this session today. Although it is a little bit less session, I'm going to come up with more stuff on SQL Server in coming weeks. So stay tuned to my channel and share, subscribe, and like my videos. And if you want more, you can always turn on the bell icon so that you will not miss out on notifications on my new videos. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. Have a great day, guys.